Yo, what is good, dev guys? It's your boy Ken. Yes, sir. I'm back with another video. And in this video, I want to talk about a program that's not talked about a lot. And I don't know why, bro. This is like one of the best programs I have ever used in my life. I can say other than Houdini, but this program, I have been using it for the past 2 weeks nonstop. I haven't opened Houdini. And you guys know how I feel about Houdini. Like, Houdini is the love of my life. But this is like that mistress at work. She just so bad. You see her every day at work, and you know what I'm saying? You do your thing with it. You know what I'm saying? Bro, God damn, this motherfucker is crazy. I just want to say 3D Code did not sponsor me to make this video. I pay for this program out of my own pocket because I've always been interested in it. And I did the stupid thing of buying ZBrush. And honestly, I should have bought this program a long time ago. I should have bought it and grown with it because this program has really showed me things that I believe if you actually took the time to say, okay, I'm not gonna say Blender right now. I'm not gonna say ZBrush right now. I'm not gonna say Maya or Mac. I'm not gonna think about those other programs. I'm gonna look into this program with with a fresh brain, with a fresh palette, and I'm gonna see what it could offer me. You will see that this program is very powerful. All right, so let's just show y'all something simple, man. Something simple. First, I just want to show you how easy it is to create shapes and really not have to think about topology and have to think about how you're going to manage edge loops and edge flow. I hate that shit. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, bro. I hate thinking about that shit. That's just not something that I'm looking forward to doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, as an independent developer, I'm not looking forward to fucking topology and edge flow, bro. Fuck that shit. You know what I'm talking about? I know it's important. I'm not trying to down anybody whose life's work is edge flow and topology, but let's just be real. If you focus on that shit, you're not programming, you're not doing VFX, you're not doing a bunch of different things. You're just focused on that because that shit is time consuming, bro. We can't be spending that amount of time creating assets. So I'm gonna just create that little cube here. I'm gonna isolate it. And I just want to show y'all how easy it is to get shapes and get hard edge, nice, clean topology. So let me go in here to my cutoff tool. And the cutoff tool is exactly what it says it is. It's a cutoff tool. You cut off pieces of geometry. And this is very similar to what they're doing inside of Blender with hard ops and box cutter. But the difference is that you do not have to be concerned about any type of topology. You don't have to be concerned about beveling edges or anything like that. You can set that all up to work out of the box how you want it to work. Now, don't get me wrong. I know some people don't want to be working with 450,000 polygons. I know some people's computers probably can't handle this shit. Sometimes my computer can't handle it. And for that, you still got the low poly modeling room where you can come in here and you can model traditional shapes. Like, I could literally model this shape out of a traditional shape. Yeah, I could do that, but it's just so much easier to create and so much faster to iterate to just go in here, use the cutoff tool inside the sculpt room and just create the shape that you want to create as fast as you want to create it. You don't want to think about anything else. So I'm gonna just put a circle here. I don't know what I'm making here. I'm just cutting out some shapes. This is to show you guys the power of this program, how easy it is to get stuff going. And it's really, man, this program is one of my favorite right now. Like I said, I'm not sponsored by the guys who made this program. I literally bought this because I have been looking at it for 2 years and I just finally said, fuck it, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna work on getting better at it. So you see how easy it was to get a hard surface type of shape like this. Let me add some more. Let me add some more flair here. Let me add let's add like a little cut like this or something like that. And something like this. And let me turn on symmetry so that I can get this on both sides. And here. So now we got this crazy, weird shape that if you tried to model this shape, yeah, you can get it done, but you ain't gonna get it done in the amount of time that I just spent getting it done. I know you're saying that, well, I can get it done and not have to worry about retopologizing. Well, same here, man. Same here, bro. Same here. You can go to this retopology room, and we're gonna take this through the entire. We're gonna take this through the entire pipeline. We're gonna go from this shape block out to a retopologized mesh to a textured or to a UV unwrapped mesh to a texture mesh, all in this video. So what I want to do is, one thing I could do is I could come in here and I could go to the top here and I can actually go in here and just start creating topology myself. You know what I'm saying? I could go in here and I could just start adding topology myself. And I could work on it like that. I can even get this quads tool and really just come in here and grab out quads and really retopologize this whole asset really quickly. I'm being more precise than I need to be here because I want to show you guys that these retopology tools are nuts. You know what I mean? Like, they're absolutely nuts what you can do. And I just literally damn near retopologized the whole mesh here, and it didn't take me any time. I could do that. Yes, I could do that retopology, and I wouldn't mind. The thing about me is I'd rather get my shapes first, and then I want to worry about edge flow. Like, if I get my shapes going, we could talk about edge flow afterwards. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to have to think about that edge flow shit in the beginning when I'm barely getting the asset created and working on it that way. But you can see how easy it is to retopologize something like this. And I could go and retopologize this all the way through to get the best topology possible, get the lowest poly count. But what I want to show you guys is the speed of this. So I'm gonna go ahead and let me just clear this poly group out, and that'll get rid of that topology that I created. I am also going to turn off symmetry here so that we don't get any bugs here. And I'm gonna go and I'm going to right click on this mesh that I just created, this volume. And I'm gonna go to Autopo. And we're going to just give it, let's just give it like 8,000 polygons. Let's see if it can handle all of this, all of these different shapes with 8,000 polygons. So I'm gonna hit OK. It's gonna blaze through, it's gonna decimate the mesh, and then it's going to calculate how it's going to actually get all of these details inside of this mesh, or get all those details added to this mesh. So you can see how convenient something like this would be. And this is probably one of the best quad remeshers I have ever used. I paid $199 for Exoside. Actually, I think it was $100. Let me rephrase. I paid $100 for Exoside quad remesher, and it has never given me topology that looks this clean. So right now, yeah, I got 9,000 quads. So yeah, of course the triangles will be a different count, because triangles are twice as much as quads, because you cut the quads in half to get triangles. So yeah, 9,000 quads. This is not bad topology here, but it doesn't stop there. So I can even tell this to mark some seams for me. Let me find, where did my mesh go? Let me just go ahead and say auto seams, and you see it added some seams for me. It could be a lot better, but what it did was find the edge loops that are non-stopping. I could go in here and I could add my own seams here if I wanted to, but since I just want to show you guys the speed, we're going to bypass that. So yeah, I'm gonna just do the auto seams for now. But just know that you could go in here and you could unwrap your mesh perfectly. Like, you can go in here and click each edge that you want to be a seam and unwrap it, and it'll unwrap perfectly. So let me let this auto map for itself. And you see it lays out my UV maps very, very nicely. You also have a second auto map option where you could have it auto map for you, but it doesn't rotate for you. So let me pack this UV, and it'll just packing the UV basically just it's just more ergonomic for the space. So it doesn't stop there. You can go ahead and bake in normal map details, but since I don't have any details, it would be kind of weird to bake a normal map. So let me go back to my sculpt mesh and let me add some details here. So let me get my depth limit, and let's just say I want to go like 0.5 to add like some nice little normal cut details. And I'm gonna go to my rectangular marquee selection, and I'm gonna just cut in some oh, that's too deep. So maybe 0.25. And I'm gonna just cut in some nice little normal details there, and see if they bake good into the normal map. Maybe make a little decal there. Let me put one opposite on this side since we don't have mirroring on. And I'm gonna go back to my retopology room. And now you can see that those details are there. And I could even move my vertices to kind of snap to those. But since we're fine on that, we can go ahead and bake this mesh here. And you can also adjust the size of your cage if you wanted to. Right now, I'm not going to be too focused on that because that is like something that I would put into an actual tutorial. But basically, this is going to bake that high poly detail onto this low poly mesh. And if I press OK, it'll let me pick my settings. I can set it up to have my normal map set up for any type of software out there. You can even add your own preset. And you just have all these settings. You can weld vertices if you wanted to, but these default settings usually get you a decent bake. So I'm gonna do a 4096 for 4K, 4K map, and it's gonna do some thinking, and then it's gonna just blaze through baking out that normal data. And this is one of the things, like, so say you were in the prototype phase and you wanted to knock out a few assets in a day and test them out in the game. Like if you were making weapons and you want to test out how they look in the game and how they look in the player's hands and get a nice decent feel before you actually put 8 to 24 hours of work into an object, you can really just bang it out real quick in here and then get you a quick retopo, get you a quick bake, and then go over here to the texture room. And let me make sure that my low poly is the only thing showing here. So yeah, I'm only showing my low poly. Double check that. Yeah. So now you see we got our low poly mesh. You can see our normals are kind of weird here. But the thing about this program is that you get the normal map, as a paintable map. So if I wanted to, I could go in here and unlock this map. And then you can go in here and you can set this to a standard texture so that you can see it on the mesh. And you can go in here and actually paint in normal details. You can fix your normal map by hand painting it. And there is no other program that offers that kind of control over the normal map. And that is one thing that is very powerful about this program. And it doesn't stop at the normal map. If I were to bake out an ambient occlusion map, I could go in and I could hand paint the ambient occlusion map. And it just is a really powerful program through and through. So I'm gonna set this back to normal map. And then I'm just going to add a brass texture on here. So if I double click on here, it'll tell me that I need to bake out my curvature and stuff like that. So I'll go ahead and do that. And this also has a great curvature baking system. It also bakes out great ambient occlusion. And as I said before, if you get any defects in any other program, fixing those defects, it will take tweaking and twiddling of the thumbs. But in this program, if you get ambient occlusion defects, you can just paint your ambient occlusion layer and fix those defects yourself. So let me go here, and this is the mesh that I want, not the mesh, but this is the texture that I want to use here. And you can see there it is there coming in. I can also just increase the resolution by zooming in on the texture just to get more quality out of it. So let's go all the way, maybe there. And you see, you really got a lot of control in a program like this. So I'm gonna go ahead and you can do one of two things. You can literally come in here and hand paint this texture on there, or you can just fill this whole object with that material that you just set up. And all of these materials are editable. And you can go into the material itself and you can change parameters. I know this UI isn't as pleasing as Substance Painter, but it is very clear to understand. So I will say that. So it doesn't stop there though, people. It doesn't stop there. So I'm gonna get rid of this. And you see we got this object. It's real nice. This is a real nice hard surface object. We do have some little normal defects, but when the texture is on there, you can't really tell that this mesh has really too many defects, except for right there, maybe right here in this area here where my mouse cursor is. But we can go ahead and check out what a render would look like. And you can see me personally, I'm using Marmoset Toolbox renderer, but I can also go to UE4 to see what it would look like in UE4's lighting setup. And I can go to the render room here, and let me go back to the sculpt room, and let me hide my high topology mesh here. I probably should go to my render room and add the window for my, what is it, my sculpt tree. Where is it? My sculpt models. No, not that. Sculpt tree. So if I open up a sculpt tree, I could go ahead and, oh, it's already over there. Okay, cool. So let me close this. I don't need this. I could hide this over here. I don't have to go back and forth. But you see here, we get this nice little render here. It is rendering in real time. So I'm gonna turn on screen space reflections and screen space illumination. I can also go in here and change the actual environment map that I'm using to give me a better lighting that I want. You can add more lights. You can change all types of settings about this render here. But I'm gonna render just this out real quick and save it to my desktop and replace that. It is a ray trace renderer. It is pretty fast. I'm not gonna lie to you, and it does get pretty good results for it all being tied into this one program. Now I know more people will be like, Eevee is way better than that. It's probably way faster, and that is probably true. But the thing is, I don't have to go out to Eevee to get a render similar to this one here. You know what I mean? Like, this is a pretty good representation of what my mesh is going through, what my mesh has on it. And I really can't explain enough how powerful this program is. I really wish that people would talk about it more, so that it can get more press, because the thing about all these other programs is that people talk about them a lot. So you hear, when you see the questions in different groups and forums of, I'm a beginner, what program should I learn how to use? There's always people saying Blender. There's always people saying ZBrush. There's always people saying Maya or Max. I am one of those people that's like, man, you should test out Houdini. And now one of the programs I will mention to other people is 3D Code, man, because like, you really can get stronger than this. Like, if it just goes to say, like, if I wanted to add this object to this object, now I just added a variation really quickly. Like, so if I want to create a base weapon and then save that as my base weapon, and then come in here and change out the parts to do different things, to look different, then I could easily create those shapes and see how they're going to fit. I don't have to put in all the topology work first and then see how it's going to look in sub D mode, and then go to ZBrush and paint the high poly details and things like that. You can do all that here in this one program. So, man, I really hope that you guys can understand how powerful I think this program is. I know that sometimes these arguments end with, well, Blender is free. Well, what about Blender? Or what about this or that? But I'm not talking about Blender. I'm not talking about price right now. This program is free to learn. You are free to download it right now and test out its features and just play around with it. Do like I did. I really, for the first week, I didn't pay a single dime. I used a free trial. I was exporting out meshes to see how they did in other programs. I was testing out how to do things as fast as possible. And I really fell in love with it. I ended up buying it because I want this in my pipeline. I want to be able to make commercial assets with this very quickly, I might add. Like this sword, this Zelda sword here, if I get to a point where I can rotate nicely. This Zelda sword here was made in, I want to say 2 hours. Probably less time than that. I spent most of the time just getting these cuts and these actual details, these little small details perfect. but I really could have banged this out really fast, got it over to Substance Painter or painted it in here. This program really just takes your workflow to another level. I can't overstate that. So just think about it. Go ahead, check it out, man. It is free to learn. You get a free trial with all of the tools. You get no restrictions on that free trial. You can export as much stuff as you want. 30 days free trial. And then after that, you can only use the learning version of it, which still allows you to use all the tools. You just have some restrictions on exporting and things like that. And I know people are like, well, Blender doesn't have that. You can learn Blender, you can go right into making money or doing commercial projects. And the thing is, that is true. I can't say that that's false, but just think about how this will improve your workflow. Just seeing me do this very simple object, and just imagine how you can do even more creative or crazy looking objects yourself. So yeah, definitely check this out, man. It is free. That's pretty much all I got for you guys. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.